Breakfast with Rima.
BBC Radio Leeds.
It's Rima on BBC Radio Leeds, and now Steve Goldman's exhibition of dreadful record covers is returning to Huddersfield for 11 days in March and April, and Steve joins me now. Morning, Steve.
Morning.
Thank you so much for being here. I love stuff like this. Where did this idea come from? Dreadful record covers, Steve.
Well, 35 years ago, I bought an album called Peter Rabbit because it had such a bad cover, and subsequently I lost it. And then the internet came along. I thought, oh, well, I'll find it now. But every time I typed in Peter Rabbit, Beatrix Potter came up. So I thought, oh, that's that then. And then someone said about 5 years ago, have you tried Discogs.com, which is the go-to place for all things vinyl? So I did. I typed in Peter Rabbit there, and it came up. So I bought it. It was a lot more expensive. The original one I bought was a 10p, and this was a fiver. And it arrived, and that was one of the most joyous evenings of my life. And that evening I said to my kids, do you know, I think I'm going to collect bad record covers.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Also, you have a very similar experience to me when I go on to Discogs, because I collect vinyl as well, and I always go on thinking, oh, I wonder if they've got this, and it comes up and it's like £3,000, and I'm like, no, actually, I'm not going to remortgage my house for a vinyl. But I love that. For a fiver, you've started a new hobby.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of ones that are too expensive, like Gary Getting Down to Business, for example, which is $300. Yeah, I mean, the most I've spent on one is 60 quid,
right?
Which is a children's first Christmas record.
It must be properly awful for you to have spent 60 quid on it.
Yeah, it is. It's incredibly scary. Shall I show it to you?
Yeah, show me it. Describe it to us in great detail, Steve.
It's a picture of a Santa on a sleigh, but the Santa is a little boy dressed up with an incredibly creepy Santa face.
I love that. These are the things that come out of these records that were released. Do you find when you go through these records, is there a time period where they were worse, these record covers, than any other time?
I think it's probably the 70s, but there's from all ages. I mean, there's plenty of modern ones as well.
Take us through some of the worst that you've ever seen, Steve.
Right. So there's Oil and Vinegar by Dave McKenna and Wilbur Little, which consists of a couple who were nude. Apart from their modesty is hidden by some cabbage leaves.
Oh my God.
And they're snogging, but you can clearly see a piece of cabbage is being exchanged between their mouths.
Why? That's the only response I have to that. Why? What else? Can anything beat that?
The Nimble Fingers of Jean-Pierre Jumez, which is... you can't see his face, but it's a man sitting playing the acoustic guitar, except he's got no trousers on.
So a lot of these are nudity related for some reason.
Yeah.
I love this though. I love that you're poking fun. Have you ever had anyone get in touch and say to you, actually, I was very proud of that record cover?
No, we haven't. We haven't yet.
Okay. I hope no one does. And if they do, they get what you're trying to do. Tell us about this exhibition. Where can we see this?
It's at the Piazza Centre in Huddersfield. It's from the 23rd of March to the 2nd of April, when it's open from 10 until 4.
Love that. I'm going to come down and I'm going to have a look, because this is genuinely, I love the idea of going and looking at stuff and going, oh, that's terrible, isn't it? That's so bad.
Yeah.
You know, my personal gripe when it comes to album covers or any sort of a record cover, and this is, I don't know if this is me being too harsh, but I don't like it when the artist puts their own face on the front of a record. Like, why? I don't need to see your face. Give us some art. Give us something good. Apart from, I will say, the only person that I will allow to do that is Adele, because I think that she's got it right. I think she's got it right. Okay. Steve, thank you so much for being here this morning. We should say as well, the exhibition raises money, doesn't it, for a very special charity close to your heart? Yeah, it's Different Strokes, because I had a stroke about 3 years ago, and it's the charity for younger stroke sufferers. So by young, I mean under 65. So the disadvantage was that I had a stroke, but the advantage was that I was labelled younger again. So I love that. It's like being carded when you go out and you're 30 years old, except for there is a downside here. But what a great thing to raise money for. What a wonderful exhibition. I can't wait to see it. Steve, thank you so much for spending time with us this morning. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Breakfast with Rima.